Hey guys, it's Alicia here. So for today's video, I just wanted to do a ranking on my bronzers. So if you haven't noticed, this summer I have been obsessed with bronzer. I don't know what it is, but I have bought and been trying so many different bronzers. So I thought it would be fun to just sit down and do a video on my bronzers and rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. I was gonna do like a video on my favorite bronzers, but honestly, there's not really very many that I just don't like. They're, I like a lot. Like I love a lot of these, so I figure I may as well just rank them instead, and that would be maybe better or more fun. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. By the way, if I sound sick, I apologize. I am. This is my second video I'm recording today. I plan to maybe do a couple more if I have time. We'll see. But yeah, I thought this would be fun. So if you're into bronzer and you want to hear my favorites, then just keep on watching. So I have 7 bronzers, and I'm going to go from my least favorite to my favorite. So my least favorite is actually just a sample size that I got in my Ipsy bag, but I have been trying and using quite a bit since I've got it. I'm just know I'm not going to be buying the full size of it, so I'm glad that, you know, I got a sample to try it, because knowing me, I probably would have bought the full size because I love bronzer. Now, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just not my favorite. So, coming in at number 7, we have the Hoola Bronzer from Benefit. Now, this is a little sample guide. That's what it looks like. And like I said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. It's just, like, I don't know. I feel like it can tend to be a little bit intense if I don't like, that's it right there. If I don't like, I don't know, be careful. I feel like I can get a little bit heavy-handed with this, and I'm the person where I like to get a big fluffy brush and just kind of like dust it all over in a way. I can't do that with this. So I think that's why it's my least favorite. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just not my favorite. But I'm definitely going to keep using this. I just won't buy the full size of it because I don't think I would get as much use out of it as I do my other bronzers. So yeah, that is that right there. Coming in at number 6, we have the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade Sunkissed. This is what it looks like right here. I bought this because I used to love matte bronzers over glowy bronzers. Now I'm kind of in the middle. I like both. I do love glowy bronzers now. And it's a little bit more cool toned, I feel like, than some other bronzers out there. Yeah, you can definitely tell it's a lot more cool toned than the Hoola bronzer. So this is the Milani one right here. Sorry for the bad swatches. I can't really swatch on my hand very well because I got a little bit of a tan, and so you won't really be able to see them very well. But yeah, this is a pretty good bronzer. It blends out well. It is very matte, and I do really like the shade. I just kind of feel like less is more. Like I can be a little bit heavy-handed with this one as well, and I think that's why it's, again, closer to the bottom. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I just prefer others more, so I definitely don't see myself repurchasing that in the future. Okay, and then number 5 is the Bare Minerals Endless Summer Bronzer in the shade Faux Tan. So this is what it looks like. This is a newer product to me, and that is the shade. It looks a little bit like, actually it looks really dark in the pan compared to what it looks like on your face. I don't know. I thought that when I seen it on YouTube, I thought that it looked really dark and intense, and I was like, how would that work for my skin tone? But as you can see, it's swatched. Again, I'm sorry. It's really not that bad. It's actually fairly close to the Milani bronzer. Let me kind of push the swatch out even more so you can kind of see it better. But yeah, so that's that right there. So again, I really like this. It's one of those products that I have to be careful of how much I'm using as well. but it does blend out really well, and I do like the shade of it, so that's why it's not at the bottom. I do really like it. This is so tough because I just have so many favorites that I feel bad for putting certain ones like this one towards the bottom because I do really, really love it, but I have other ones that I really love as well. So, I don't know. So next at number 4, we have the Pure Bronzing Act or Light Matte Bronzing Act. Bronzer. Okay, that was a mouthful. So that's what it looks like, and that's the shade. It's a very nice shade. I like the color of it in the pan. I think it looks pretty cool. Not that that really matters because it doesn't. This one is pretty light. So to even get a swatch to really show up, I have to dip into it like quite a bit. Okay, I just dipped into it. Wow, you can barely even tell. 5 times to get that shade. Well, I look like I was flipping you off. Okay, so right there is that. It is very light. I like that about it because you really can build this up a lot and it not be overpowering or too much. It just looks really, really, really good. So I love that. It is matte as well, but it's matte, but it has a little bit of a sheen to it. Like, I feel like it's more sheeny than the Milani or the Bare Minerals, but it is still pretty matte at the same time. It's just a really good one. I really like it. Do you need to spend $30 on a bronzer for it to be nice? No, absolutely not. My favorite bronzer, actually, is under $10. So, just wait till you see what that one is. So, number 3 is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This one was also hard to choose because I love this one so much. And I love the smell of it. I love the smell of their butter collection. It's just really, really great. This is the shade Bronzer. And it comes with this really weird, I dropped it, applicator. I've never even taken out of the thing. It's not a brush. It's just like a weird sponge thing. I don't know. I don't really know how you would use that to make it look right. I just feel like that's weird. But I use a big fluffy brush with it and it works great. This one is sheeny, which I actually do really appreciate. The color of it is actually very similar to the Pure one. It's actually really similar to the Pure one. The only difference is it didn't take me quite as much to build up as the Pure one. There's the Pure one and then there's the Physicians Formula. And I feel like it didn't take as much to build. But other than that, the colors are pretty similar. So that's nice. Maybe I should start doing swatches on this arm. So yeah, I do really love this one. It is a staple from the drugstore. It's really, really great. I feel like Physicians Formula is known for their butter bronzer. Like, everybody knows about the butter bronzer. Everybody raves about it, I feel like. But it is definitely worth the hype, in my opinion. I really, really, really love it so much. Would totally repurchase. I actually have. This is my second one. So, technically third, kind of, because I gave one away. And then, because I got the Butter Collection palette. But then I realized that one and that palette was a little bit too deep. It still works, but like I wanted something lighter, so I had to go out and purchase this one again. So it is what it is. I really love that one. Alright, so as much of a struggle as it was for those to decide, numbers 1 and 2 were really a struggle because I love both so much. It was so hard to choose. But number 2 is my Bare Minerals Invisible Bronze Bronzer. I love this bronzer. You cannot screw it up. Kind of like the Physicians Formula. I feel like you can't screw that one up either, but you really cannot screw this up. It is so, like, light that I feel like the name Invisible, like, really suits it. Now, when you do what I just did, kind of see that there's a lot of powder kick up, so, you know, just keep that in mind. Now, you can see it there with just one swatch, but it is very sheer, I feel like. It's just a very, very buildable bronzer. I love it for that reason. I love being able to build up my bronzers, and it does have a little bit of a sheen to it. It is a pretty glowy bronzer. It kind of looks like when you're looking in the pan that there's a little bit of shimmer in it, but it doesn't translate like that on the skin. It just looks really, really nice. it gives you like this healthy bronze look. I just love it so much. I feel like I can't say enough good things about it. It honestly kind of looks similar to the Butter Bronzer in Pure in the sheeniness of it, not the color. The color isn't the same, but yeah, I just really love this. This was, I think, around $30 as well, just like the Pure and then the other Bare Minerals. But out of these two Bare Minerals ones, this one is definitely my favorite. I do like this one. This is definitely my favorite. So, now on to number one. My number one, I think, favorite bronzer I've ever tried is the Flower Heatwave Luminous Bronzer in the shade Sunrise 01. I love this so much. It is very cool toned compared to some of my bronzers, as you can kind of tell, and I love the luminosity of it. I love that it's a glowy like bronzer, but it looks so pretty. Now that was one swipe, so that is pretty pigmented compared to some of these other ones I have, but even though it's very pigmented, I feel like you still can't screw it up. Like, I still use a fluffier brush and dust it all over, not all over, but, you know, dust it around the perimeters of my face, and I feel like I can go back in for more and more and it not look too intense. It doesn't look orange on my skin. When I swatch it, it does turn a little bit, like, it does look a little bit warmer than it does, like, when you don't swatch it, but I've done that before, and then, like, when I leave it alone for a while and just use my brush, it gets some of that, like, top layer off, it goes back to looking cool tone, if you know what I mean, in the pan. But yeah, I just love this bronzer so much, and it's under $10. I did not know I was gonna love this much when I bought it. I was like, oh cool, you know, a new bronzer from Flower Beauty, because the only bronzer they really had was in this contour and highlight blush palette that they have that I almost bought until I saw this, and I was like, actually, I'm just gonna give this a try, and I'm so glad I did it. I have not looked back, and I won't, because it is so good. So I would definitely repurchase this in the future. This is by far, pretty sure, my favorite bronzer. Bare Minerals, though, right under it. Like, these two, these have my heart and soul. If I had to give up all my other bronzers and keep just these two, I'm pretty sure I could do it. Even though it's really hard, because I do love my other ones too, don't get me wrong. But yeah, so that was it for today's video. I just wanted to go over my favorite bronzers with you guys, or just all of mine in general, and just rank them. I did only go like and use single bronzers because I didn't really want to do face palettes. I feel like that would have been a little bit too complicated, and I really don't have that many face palettes to do its own video on. But if you wanted to see those in a video incorporated somehow, I can totally do that for you. But yeah, I just thought this would be fun to do. I plan to do one with my blushes and highlights as well. I just love cheek products, if you can't tell. So yeah, that was all for this video though. I really hope that you enjoyed watching it, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.